Hello and welcome into Anchorage Bucs baseball alongside my partner Will Hopkins. Nick Masley here at Mulcahy Stadium, back in the home ballpark for a matchup between the Peninsula Oilers and the Anchorage Bucs. It is the sixth time that these teams are meeting in just the past week. We were in the Kenai Peninsula on Tuesday for a five-game series, and unfortunately, the Bucs lost three of those five games. In a way, we're kind of pushed back to earth after two five streaks in a row of winning ball games and just two losses between both of them coming against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. So the Oilers were the first team to beat the Bucs besides the Glacier Pilots, and they did it three times in a series down there. So Will, coming back to Mulcahy Stadium, flipping the page to a new month, how does this team shake off that tougher road trip and emotional last game, come out with a win today, and start a new potential streak?
Well, first of all, I think that the series loss is not the worst thing in the world. I think this team maybe needed a bit of a wake up call to let them know, hey, these other teams can play too. It's not like you're just going to run away with this thing. But luckily, they had built such a good lead that they're still in first place in the standings, which is great to see. And I think this team will be happy to start this homestand against the Oilers. Might they be sick of them? Yes. But at the same time, after losing that series, would like to avenge that series loss, beat the Oilers, and then maybe go on a new streak.
And so today on the hill, two very good pitchers. It is Zan Rose, who pitched against the Miners, and what a gem of a game he had there. And then Eddie Leon will be the pitcher for the Oilers. We actually saw him back in the first game of that series. He did hit, and he had the big home run, the go-ahead home run in the last game of that series. Got a little bit emotional there at the end. Tempers, I wouldn't say flaring too much, nothing too crazy, but obviously more of an emotional
Yeah.
game that we have seen so far in the ABL. So a home run for him. He will be the starting pitcher for the Oilers. So we'll take a little bit of a break. We'll talk more about those starting pitchers. We'll give you starting lineups and first pitch after this break. Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium. We previewed the starting pitchers, and we'll go straight into them, starting with Eddie Leon, who the Bucs will see in the bottom half of the first inning. Comes into this game with 17 innings pitched, 8 hits, just 1 run given up. He's looked really good. 3 appearances, all are starts. He is 1-0. Going back to his last start, it was against these Bucs, like I said, in the first game of that 5-game set, and he pitched really well. 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs. The Bucs really couldn't touch him. And it was Mike Sarhat on the mound also for the Bucs, who gave up 4 runs later into his outing, but the Bucs were able to storm back and they were able to take the win. So unfortunately for Leon, he gets a no decision in that game. He also in his first game, June 12th versus the Glacier Pilots, he went 7 innings, gave up just 1 hit and no runs, and then sandwiched in between that last game and the first game he pitched is another 5 inning game, 4 hits and 1 earned run. So Leon is going to be a tough pitcher to face, and he will be going up against Zan Rose for the Bucs, who's looked magnificent. Will.
Oh, he's looked ridiculous. This will be his third start in league play, fourth in total, and counting the 3 innings he pitched in the non-league no-hitter. He's gone 13 innings, giving up just 6 hits and 1 earned run. He also has 14 strikeouts and just 4 walks in league play. He's 1-0 in his 2 games pitched, and the Bucs are 3-0 so far in all the games he's pitched. So would love to see that continued team success with Rose on the mound. And something that we've seen a lot from him is him pitching his best towards the end of his outing. So that'll be something to watch for today. As for the beginning of his outing, in the first inning, he'll face Petey Soto Jr., the shortstop who leads things off for the Oilers. The rest of the top 3 is Cole Dawson, the third baseman, and Colin Robson, the center fielder. Moving through the order, Ty Thomas will bat cleanup and play first base, with Cole Wilson in right field batting fifth and Max Rothberg at second base batting sixth. In the 7 hole is the catcher Andres Mitot, and batting eighth is the designated hitter who we've seen pitch, Cody New. And ninth will be Bryce Berkey playing left field. So Soto Jr., Dawson, and Robson, Thomas, Wilson, and Rothberg, Mitot, New, and Berkey, with Eddie Leon on the mound. As for the Bucs, it'll be Will Burns, the shortstop, batting first, with Cole Carlone, the designated hitter, batting second. Ryan Callahan will bat third and play third base, with Tommy Eisenstadt in the cleanup spot batting first. Max Ross will roam center field batting fifth, and Andrew Lamb will bat sixth in right field. Brett Castillo is playing left field. He'll bat seventh, with Brody Briggs catching for Zandros batting eighth, and Christian Powell rounding things off at second base. Once again, Burns, Carlone, and Callahan, Eisenstadt, Ross, and Lamb, Castillo, Briggs, and Powell, with Zan Rose on the mound. As our national anthem is looming, we will take a break to prevent any copyright issues, and then when we come back, it'll be just about time for first pitch.
Blitz. Batting sixth, right fielder from USC, number 8, Andrew Lamb. Accompanying Lamb, Soren Bender. Batting seventh, the left fielder from Cal State Dominguez Hills, number 22, Brett Castillo. Accompanying Castillo, Lucas Reyes and Liam Kaiser. Batting eighth, the catcher from Arizona State University, number 5, Brody Briggs. Accompanying Briggs, Sage Dirks and Wyatt Coffin. Batting ninth, the second baseman from Ottawa University, Arizona, number 15, Christian Powell. Accompanying Powell, Rylan Ellis and Liam Skilrock. And pitching tonight from Winthrop University, number 12, Zan Rose. Accompanying Rose, Willie Kaiser and Miles Donovan. At this time, I ask that you please rise and remove your headgear.
Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium, home sweet home. After a long road trip with 7 road games, 6 of them actually away from Mulcahy Stadium, the Bucs are finally back in front of their home crowd with a big week ahead. July 4th looming, another doubleheader shortly thereafter, but for tonight, all eyes will be on Zan Rose. Zan Rose standing 6'1", 215 out of Tampa, Florida. Was a red shirt this year at Winthrop, but in his freshman year, 3.41 ERA, 34 and a third innings pitched. No starts, but he's looked great as a starter this year. Had a 3-1 record, 45 strikeouts, and 16 walks, and we've seen a lot of that good command continue into this season for the Bucs. In league play, 10 innings pitched, just 6 hits, 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Good for a 1-0 record, and most importantly, an undefeated record for the Bucs as a team when he's out there on the mound. And they'll look to continue that and grow this lead over the Oilers and the rest of the league back up a little bit. Interestingly, with Leon, we will be talking about some of the hitters and how they fared against him the first time around. But for Rose, this will be his first time pitching against the Oilers. He actually has faced off against all 3 other teams, albeit the Chinooks was not in league play, but he will be able to check off the Oilers on his list after today's start. He'll face Petey Soto Jr., Cole Dawson, and Colin Robson to lead things off in the first. And top of the order doesn't change very much for the Oilers game to game. We see some bigger changes from the Bucs game to game. And now the throw down to second from Brody Briggs, and we're just about ready for baseball. And here to bring it to you is Vic Maslia.
Thank you, Will. How about the Bucs beat these guys? 7th meeting between the two teams. So far, the Oilers have taken 3 games, and the Bucs have taken 3 games. Before the series, the Bucs took the first one against the Oilers here at Mulcahy Stadium, and then we went on that road trip, and like we've been saying, an emotional last game, a really tough one and looking to get the win here today versus the Oilers. Improved to 4-3 versus these guys. The first one is inside to PD Soda. We are underway here in Anchorage, Alaska. A somewhat overcast and cloudy day, but the sun is trying to poke out here. Blue skies overhead on those clouds. Soto grounds it past the infield, and it's in for a base hit to left field. So the first man is aboard, and going back to that series, Soto, despite a magnificent glove he has and has had this whole season, did not fare too well at the plate versus these Bucs hitters. Just a couple of base hits. Maybe, I don't even know if he had a base hit. It would have had to have been his last game because I'm almost positive he came in with no hits. But like I said, a great glove. He played in 4 out of the 5 games and did not have a single base hit, and we're now confirming that for you guys here. So pretty interesting. Soto is their go-to leadoff guy. A great glove over there at short. Just was unfortunately not able to pick up a hit versus the Bucs. He scrambles back to first, and he's lucky that the throw was just a tad bit late.
And we've seen Dawson show bunt a ton in the games these two teams have played against one another.
Cole Dawson switching off with Ty Thomas over there at third base. Thomas will play first. Saw them platooning at third when we were over in the Peninsula. Squares again and fouls that one back. The Bucs won the first game out against the Oilers. That was on Tuesday, and then dropped back-to-back games. The bats just couldn't seem to find their usual rhythm, but the pitching was still pretty good from the Bucs. Won the 4th game, and unfortunately just came up short in that 5th game.
What a game it was, though.
Cade Lacey, a 2-run shot to bring it within 1 run with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Next one by Zan Rose is fouled back, and unfortunately, in a situation with 2 down, Will, you've got 4 back-to-back-to-back hits, it seems. You're pushing the luck if you don't send that runner and Christian Powell coming around third base, right?
Yeah, I can totally understand why Coach Sanagorski did that, because if Carlone gets out as the next batter, you'd regret not sending him a lot more than you do now sending him and him being out. You want to at least give yourself a chance.
An unfortunate end, but the Oilers, a well-deserved victory. 1-2, a ground ball to short. Will Burns will flip to second for 1, on to first, not in time. That one was deep into the hole, and with Burns pinching up the middle for a double play, it made it difficult to get the runner at first. But honestly surprised that he was able to get Soto pretty easily, it seemed, over there at second.
I was a little bit worried right when he went over to glove it and looked at second. It didn't end up being quite as close as I thought it would be, but it was close. And I've seen some runners run through second base and then take away that force out, because if you don't slide, you keep your speed. I'm wondering if that's something Soto could have done there.
So Cole Dawson swaps places with Soto, and it's Colin Robson, one of the best hitters for the Oilers. Wasn't as big of a standout as guys like Vogelsong, who's not in the lineup. Of course, Leone with that home run. But Robson did put in some good work, and just surprised that not a ton of it was a 1-9 effort from the Oilers, seeming in every single game that they won. Runner goes, the pitch is swung on and missed, the throw down is perfect, the tag is perfect, and they got him! Brody Briggs with a heck of a throw to second base. And no shot for Cole Dawson.
Heck of a throw indeed. We've seen Briggs display that cannon multiple times this season, but that might have been one of his best.
The pitch favored a throw down. It was upstairs and a little bit outside, and Briggs, that pop time is just so quick, and a strike down to second base and plenty of time. Now 0-2, just gets a piece of it. But like I was saying, besides Vogelsong, it seemed like nobody really stood out in the order for the Oilers. They all seemed to hit when they needed to, and they put together 3 great wins.
Yeah, they really did. They relied on their pitching just like the Bucs kind of did in the series, and through the first 4 games, no more than 5 runs for the Oilers. They then did explode in that last game, though.
1-2, swung on and missed. Went on the inner half, and Colin Robson couldn't hold up his swing. So Zan Rose with the caught stealing after the base hit. He faces the minimum, a 1-2-3 inning as we head to the bottom of the first. Nothing for the Oilers and the Bucs. Coming up when we come back. bottom half of the first inning. Xander Rose, after giving up a leadoff base hit, Briggs catches the runner stealing, and then a strikeout of Colin Robson makes it a 1-2-3 inning for Xander Rose. So Will Burns leads it off. We've not seen him bat in the leadoff spot, oddly enough. That's a called strike. Burns, mainly middle of the order type of guy. Seen him mostly bat in the 5-hole. Seen him sometimes also bat cleanup, but first time leading off for the Bucs. Try to shake things up a little bit, and I think it's a good move because not like the Bucs have been struggling at all, but you come into a series losing just 2 games to the same 2 teams, and now 3 games you've lost against these Oilers. Might be time to change something up a little bit. Not that Ross wasn't doing enough in the leadoff spot, along with guys like Zane Kelly. They've done their job, but just might be time for a little bit of a change. 1-2 to Burns. That one plunks him right in the side, and didn't really expect that for the first batter, considering how good Leon has been.
Yeah, didn't expect it either, but the Bucs dugout loves it.
They sure do, and remind you that last game, getting a little bit emotional in terms of heat of the moment type of stuff. Leon on the mound had a home run that broke the 6-6 tie late in the ball game in the 5th game. So Carlone digs in, leadoff runner aboard, and Will Burns. He goes, pitches downstairs. The throw from Tot is not in time. Burns is in there. Good jump by Burns. Slides to the outside part of the bag and makes it tough for Soto over there trying to cover. So
yeah, great stuff, taking the extra 90.
So a stolen bag for Burns. He is a speedster, has been caught a few times, but I love how he doesn't shy away to keep going. Next one to Carlone is hit down the left field line. That's a fair ball. It heads into the corner. Burns will score easily. Carlone chugging into second base. He's going to hold up there. It's an RBI double for Carlone as he gets the Bucs going.
Cole Carlone, just the master of going the other way with it. Did it again there down that left field line, and easily scoring was Burns, and good to get on the board to get things started here.
The Bucs did not score first in the first game against the Oilers, where they ended up coming back from a 4-run deficit and winning. However, the next 2 games the Bucs, or excuse me, the second game that the Bucs won out of those 5 games, the Bucs were able to score first and maintain a lead. And it's something that they have done not so often. A lot of times the Bucs get down, not that the pitching is not good enough, but it seems that they've gotten down and they've been able to fight back. But we've also seen some games where they've had big leads and they were able to keep them. Of course, the last game of the series was not one of those games. It was the only game that comes to memory where the Bucs gave up a substantial lead. That was a 6-run lead set in the 2nd inning, and the Oilers put up a 6 spot. And then Leon, a couple innings later, a 2-run shot made it 8-6, and they'd get one more crucial insurance run to make it 9-6. The batter is Ryan Callahan, enough dwelling in the past. Of course, that one series is really the only series that the Bucs will have against the same team that many times. 2 balls, no strikes. Leon set at the belt. Now the 2-0. Called strike on the outer half. Bucs back here for a long homestand. 4th of July will be here at doubleheader, 2 non-league games versus the Pilots. Should be packed out from what we're hearing, so if you need to get tickets, go ahead and do so. 2-1 hit the other way, but Cole Dawson has it. The throw to first is in time. 1 down here in the first, and they're going to say that maybe Leon balked before the pitch, so that would mean Callahan has to get back up, and that pitch never happened. And I thought I maybe heard a crack of the bat, and now I'm looking at Eisenstadt checking out Callahan's back, and I wonder if that might unfortunately be true, but he's getting the same piece of lumber unless Eisenstadt just switched. He did just switch with them, and now looking at the bat, you can see it. So Eisenstadt will contemplate breaking over his leg. Of course, nothing compared to Bo Jackson.
Always the name that comes to mind with that.
So a good break for the Bucs. Carlone advances 90 feet, and Callahan gets another shot at it. Leone will try again. Not really sure what happened on the balk there. We'll have to go look at that. A tapper, going to be a tough play for Leone. He keeps it fair. The throw to first is just over the head of Callahan, but in time to get him for the first out.
Dangerous play.
It sure was. And the only unfortunate thing for the Oilers is that play means that Carlone was already able to get to third. If he hadn't balked, Carlone would be at second base with just one down. So mark that as a 1-3. Leone got a little bit lucky. He was able to get Callahan because he was hugging the line and didn't want to hit Callahan and not get the out, as that one almost hits Tommy Eisenstadt. So we're working with a 4-man crew of umpires, I should say. 1-0, called strike. Usually have 3 guys. That's what at least what we're accustomed to. Have had 4 just once. I'll tell you, it really does make a difference in terms of check swings and close plays where the umpires might be at different bags. If there's a sliding play at third and they're stationed at second and first. Of course, we haven't really run into any crazy problems with that. I would say check swings is probably the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, definitely. That would be the first thing that comes to my mind as well.
So the meeting breaks up between Mitot and Leone, who struggling here a little bit in the first inning. Something he's probably not as used to, considering how his other starts have been. No runs in 2 of them, and just 1 run in the second one, I believe. 1 ball, 1 strike. The infield comes in, and he fouls that off his leg. A long rest for Zan Rose now. The Bucs in their home white tops. It's been a while since we worn those, considering we were out in the Peninsula. Couldn't really wear white out there. White tops, black pinstripes. Gold piping down the pants is really nice. 1-2, outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Oilers have 4 different uniforms, so we saw all of them showcased down in the Peninsula. Today, those cut-off black jerseys, the red sleeves, Oilers written across the chest, outlined in white. 2-2. Poked into center field. That could get down, and it is going to get down. Carlone had to hold up, but because he's at third, he's able to score easily, and it's a 2-0 ball game. The RBI single from Tommy Eisenstadt.
Yeah, really did have to hold up. Couldn't tell from here if that was going to be caught, but like you said, Cole Carlone at third base, and even if it was a close play, speedy guy, but didn't even need to use the speed that time.
And if you're Leone, you're probably thinking, well, at least it was a base hit anyways, so it would have been first and third if he hadn't given up the balk with just 1 out. Of course, if he can retire Max Ross here and Andrew Lamb, and might be thinking back to that balk. Ross has led off a lot for the Bucs. Usually is what he's been doing the past week or so, I'd say, maybe even longer. Now moves down to the 5 hole. We have seen him towards the middle of the order, just has been a while. Next one by Leone is a called strike. I always think it's interesting that the second base umpire is on that infield grass, not behind second base like traditional big league umpires will stand. Or maybe that's how they always stand. Now I'm second guessing myself. 1-1. Chopper out to second. Rothberg with a nice pick, but he bobbles it, and he can't collect it. So Max Ross will reach. It's going to be an E4. And what a pick by Rothberg, was able to get the transfer down and flip it to second base. Seemed like he rushed everything after a really good stop.
Yeah, he got the hard part done, in all honesty, and then once it was time to make the easier part of the play, he couldn't get it done.
So unfortunate for Rothberg, can't make the play, and with 1 out, only thing going well for the Oilers is that they have a force out, and it just would take 1 pitch, but Andrew Lamb is pretty speedy, so it would have to be something quick on the ground. Eisenstadt jumping around at second, giving Leone a bunch of problems over there as he takes a long look back. I'm sure he is not too pleased with that. I would not be if I was on the hill. But this Bucs team loves to do it, and it's not just the speedy guys who actually have a chance at going. It's the guys like Tommy Eisenstadt who you wouldn't expect.
They love to run and make the defense make plays.
This one's hit right out to Soto, flips to second, on to first place, and they get their man. So the double play works out, and they only give up the 2 runs. It's a 2-0 lead for the Bucs as we head to the top half of the second inning. Zan Rose back on the hill when we come back. Top of the second inning, and a great inning, or last inning for the Bucs. Scored 2 runs. Cole Carlone an RBI single, which brought in Will Burns. Burns walked and then snagged a bag. Carlone was able to line it into the corner. Sorry, that was an RBI double for him. And then Eisenstadt with an RBI single for himself scored Carlone, and that's where we stand right now with Zan Rose back out on the hill. And third base coach for the Oilers discussing something with the home plate umpire, who I guess does not like the tape that some of the Oilers players wear on their helmet, and it looks like third base coach passive aggressively telling his dugout that they have to get rid of that stuff. And for him, I can understand the frustration. He's probably telling the umpire, hey, we have that every single game. I don't know why it's a problem for this game, especially if it's on the part of the ear that's not facing Zan Rose.
We saw a pitcher in one game get called out for something that they'd been using all season long, and it's weird. I feel like sometimes these umpires kind of pick and choose.
They really do, Will. You never know what you're going to get, and now I'm thinking, I don't think that Rose was saying that it bothered him or anything. I wouldn't even think that the umpire would notice if it was on the part of the helmet that's facing Zan Rose. It was actually the part that was facing the home plate umpire. That's why he told him to take it off. I'm wondering what that tape is there for, because we've seen it on some of the players. I've never really known.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
So Zan Rose ready. First pitch to the batter, Ty Thomas, is outside. So with the caught stealing by Brody Briggs, a beautiful throw. Rose was able to face the minimum. So 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Oilers.
Through just 10 pitches.
That one's in there. And Rose, we remind you, similar to Rylan Hyder and a couple other guys for the Bucs, sets up all the way on the right side of that rubber. Usually righties set up on the left side, typically. But he does that to get maximum spin on that slider, and I assume to make that two-seam run in even more to righty batters and run away from lefties. So we'll see that slider has got really good command of that. 2-1, too far inside. There was the slider, just couldn't get it in enough.
Yeah, started it a little bit too far inside in order to get it over the zone, but love to see Zan battle here, even down 3-1.
Next one to Thomas. It's a called strike.
He's just always so calm out there, and even when he has innings with a few guys on, which hasn't happened very often, he always seems in control.
Yes, and we talked a lot about pacing for pitchers. He just has such good pace. Everything is the same. A ground ball out to third, and that's a tough hop for Callahan, and it goes in between his legs. So we'll see. That's a hit or an error. Of course, we're back at our home ballpark, so it is our decision, of course. And Will, want to talk me through your thought process there?
I think it's going to be an error. It was a tough play, and I think Callahan was kind of caught between two minds of whether he wanted to backhand that or get his body in front of it. But in the end, it's a play that I think he has to make, and I think he'd tell you the same thing.
Yeah, it honestly was a ball that favored the backhand. Usually you're taught to do that at the last resort, but there he probably could have gotten away with the backhand just based off of how it was hopping to him. It was really hard to be able to field that when you're straight up like that. Just crossed him up.
Yeah, I think he just couldn't decide which route he wanted to take and looked a bit awkward, and I thought he was still going to be able to corral it, but unfortunately just squeaked through.
So Thomas is aboard with an E5, and Wilson swings and misses at that one. It's quickly 0-2. And here's an example where there's just one runner on first, but it's the leadoff batter. And Zan is the type of guy who could get ahead like he is to Cole Wilson, retire him here, and then get a ground ball and get out of this inning once again. So we'll see if that's on the menu. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled back. Got a piece of it. One hit our neighbors next door. Luckily no one's in there. 2-0 lead for the Bucs. 2 runs. RBI double from Carlone, RBI single from Eisenstadt. There's your top of the order doing the heavy lifting so far, but 1 through 9, this Bucs team, anyone can hit. 0-2 pitch. Too far inside, missed with the slider. At the midway point of this season, we've now really seen all the starting pitchers that the Bucs are going to mostly roll with. As the 1-2 is right down the middle for strike 3, maybe on the inner half, as Cole Wilson had a look at the umpire, but a beautiful slider from Zan Rose, and that one started really far inside, pretty much in the right-hand batter's box, and was able to swoop in and catch the inner half, and one of the hardest pitches to pull the trigger on if you're Cole Wilson.
I was just about to say the same thing. When it looks like it's going to maybe even hit you for so much of the way, it's got to be so difficult to swing the bat.
So that'll bring up Max Rothberg. Then checks back over to first. And there safely is Ty Thomas. So starting pitchers-wise, of course, Zan Rose is out on the hill, has been one of the best. Wyatt Halverson, Cole Carlone, seen Garby Rummery, he pitched amazing his last time out as Rothberg squares but pulls it back. And then we've seen Chad Gurney a couple of times too. Mike Sarhat just left. We found out recently that he left after his start in the Peninsula. So unfortunately, he's not with the team anymore. He was only supposed to come up here for a couple of weeks, so nothing is wrong. Don't worry about that. But those are the main starters: Zan Rose, Wyatt Alverson, Cole Carlone, Garby Rummery, and Chad Gurney. But we should see some other guys get chances to start. We've been previewed a little bit. Just don't want to say we're not for sure, and we're not 100% certain. But there should be a couple of guys, especially some of these non-league games, might want to try some new arms. And 2-0 count to Rothberg. The pitch, too far outside, and now it's 3-0.
Yeah, those non-league games help some guys get some more innings than they might usually be able to get during the normal swing of things.
3 balls, no strikes to Rothberg. Rose trying to work the count back. The pitch is too far outside. He yanked the fastball again, and a totally different at-bat than what we're used to seeing from Rose, and that is going to prompt a mound visit from Brody Briggs, and I think that's a good decision.
I agree, and not surprised with Briggs wanting to chat with him just because that is so out of the ordinary.
And while we have a second, I caught up with Riley Hunsaker, who is obviously back with the team. He stayed in Anchorage when the Bucs were out in the Peninsula just to rehab and get some rest for that hamstring. He told me last year had some problems with it, and he came back too fast, and he re-aggravated it. So really taking some time this year, this time around, and looks to be back shortly. Don't know for sure when he can make his return, but he will be here at least in the next couple of weeks, hopefully a little sooner than that. So we're hoping for a speedy return as Todd squares to bunt but fouls it back. Hunsaker, remind you, on a fly ball, I don't want to say he strained that hamstring again, but definitely tweaked it and does not want to rush anything too quick, and was able to get some rehab here and is with the team in the dugout, but he will not be playing for at least another week, I assume.
And good thing for the Bucs, there's just so many guys on this team that you can plug and play and not really have to worry about a huge drop in production.
0-1 to Mitat. It's a called strike on the outer half. Mitat, one of the 3 catchers for the Oilers. Saw all of them when we were down in the Peninsula. We actually saw Mitat the least, though. Braden Smith and Brock Worthgen were the 2 we saw the most. Mitat just caught that one game, and he struggled this season so far. So see if Zan Rose can take advantage of that. The 0-2 swung on and missed. He does. Gets it with the slider. And Zan Rose told us about that celebration, and I love it. It is so subtle after the strikeout, kind of flicks that arm back a little bit. You can see it on your screen maybe next time, but does that little flick with his arm back. And kind of like a get out of here type of thing, which is funny because Zan is a very quiet guy in the conversations we've had with him.
For sure, but whatever Brody Briggs said to him prior to that at-bat, that worked for sure.
So Cody New grabs a bat with 2 down. He'll face Zan Rose with 2 on. The righty set, takes a look at second base. That's Ty Thomas over there. Brings the first one to Cody New, and it misses downstairs. Last game we saw Andrew Lamb behind home plate. The secondary catcher, I would say, behind Brody Briggs, who's there right now.
And Maltby also caught a game over that trip.
1-0. Just a bit upstairs. Not a bad miss from Zan.
Nope, not too far off at all. And it's really good to see Zan against Mitat get back into his groove. And now, even though there's a couple of guys on, just an out away from ending this inning.
So a long top half of the second compared to the first, and that one misses 2 and 3 straight balls after the really dominant at bat against Mitat, where he got him on 3 or 4 pitches.
Yep, throwing about double the pitches this inning as he threw in the first.
And if you're looking on the screen, you think there's snow out there. It's not snow. We're not really sure what it is. The 3-0 catches a corner for strike 1.
But it's like feathers or something, but it's
some sort of
everywhere.
fuzz, yeah, and looking at the flags out in right field, it's cut off by the scoreboard a little bit, but they're blowing directly in. So wherever it's coming from, it has to be coming over that football field, I assume. 3-1, that's downstairs, and he loads the bases.
Yeah, now what you want to see from Rose, I thought after that strikeout, he was pretty locked in and was going to finish up this inning pretty easily, but Cody New making him work for it, and now we'll have to face the 9th place hitter.
So really wants to get Bryce Berkey here. If he doesn't, he'll have to face Petey Soto in the top of the order for the Oilers. Berkey, one of the few lefty bats for the Oilers, along with Vogelsong. And when Berkey was not in the lineup, Vogelsong was the only lefty in the order for a couple of games, it seemed.
And then, interestingly, in Garvey Rummery, a lefty, 7 1/3 innings. Vogelsong Lewis was the only one who could hit him.
So now Tim Montez, the pitching coach for the Bucs, will make a mound visit. Nobody up in the bullpen, of course, so this is just a typical mound visit from Montez. Montez will also do pitching changes, so that's why I said that. So sometimes you'll see Montez come out and it'll be a mound visit. Sometimes you'll see it come out and put in a new pitcher. So this is just typical talking to Zan Rose and a private conversation, and I kind of like that sometimes.
Yep. And I was talking to some of the guys about how Coach Montez comes out for pitching changes, as you often see the manager, which would be Coach Springman, come out for the pitching changes, and they say because Coach Springman kind of gives Monty free reign over this pitching staff, it's kind of up to him when guys come in and out, so he's the guy that goes out and does it.
Right, and it honestly would just be a thing that Springman does it because that's what normal head coaches do. He really doesn't have much say in it compared to Montez, who is
and that's
really
by
leading
his
this
choice.
pitching staff. Yeah, so it makes sense. 1-0 in the dirt. Now 6 straight balls after a really good at bat against Mitat. We got him swinging, looked pretty silly on that slider. We'll see if the Oilers put their bat on the shoulders, considering the lack of command from Zan Rose. 2-0, right down Broadway for a strike.
I thought it was right down the middle, but the home plate umpire took so much time it had me questioning everything.
Well, it was already tough to hit the long ball, it's probably even tougher now with that wind blowing almost directly in. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch popped up, foul ground, and there's going to be no play for Brody Briggs as that lands right behind us.
Right on our roof, I think.
Fourth of July, once again, that doubleheader versus the Pilots. Should be a packed house here, so if you're looking for something to do, join us at the ballpark, at least for one of the 2 games. Just 7 innings, so shouldn't be too long.
I'm going to be greedy. Join us for both.
How about that? Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch is too far inside, and
almost hit him.
Runners will have a head start here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. That's what Briggs letting the infield know. Just watch out for runners on the move. Thomas at third, Rawford at second, Cody New at first base.
Nobody really holding any of them.
The payoff. Popped up, foul ground, long run for Callahan, and that's going to be out of play. Just out of play for Ryan Callahan, so we'll try again with the 3-2. These Oilers, going back to the Peninsula, did a great job at keeping the at-bat alive, fouling pitches off, and really making these Bucs pitchers work. I think that's a lot of how they got 3 wins. It's just competitive at-bats.
100%. Even if it doesn't result in a hit, just make these guys work. That's what they're doing.
So Zan Rose will try again with another payoff. Here it is, and that was way too far outside. And he smacks the glove in frustration as he walks a runner in. That's 3 walks in this inning. Thomas reached via the error at third, which, looking back, is looming a little bit large now. So the order flips back to the top, and of course Zan Rose can see what's going on down that third base line, and that is some of the bullpen guys heading out into the bullpen to get going. Look like I saw Elijah do in the back. Don't know if he's one of the pitchers to get started. That one's too far inside to Soto, who singled back in the first inning.
Just weird to see these walks from Rose, just because he had so few coming in. Again, 3 walks in 10 innings in league play.
1-0, out straight back. Love to see Zan figure out a way to get Soto right here.
And just have a reset.
Exactly. Bucs score a couple of runs, come back out, have maybe another 2-run lead. Have a 1-2-3 sit down and make those bullpen guys come back to the dugout. Some of them were bundled up, so I'm sure they'd like to be back in the dugout with their sweatshirts on instead of warming up. 1-1, popped him up into center field. A longer run for Max Ross, who comes in, shades over towards right field, and makes the grab for out number 3. So a tough inning for Zan Rose, but he leaves the bases stranded with just giving up that 1 run. The score is now 2-1. The Bucs still lead it here in Anchorage. Welcome back. The Oilers get 1 run back after Zan Rose had a tough inning. 3 base on balls is uncharacteristic from what we've been used to for Zan Rose. And already ready on the hill is Eddie Leon, and you can see it. He is really ready. That glove is already up near his face as Brett Castillo is taking his sweet time, and I love that. Castillo does not break his normal routine just because Leon is already ready, and he did not have that many warm-up pitches considering how long he was sitting on the dugout for. It was a pretty long top half of the second. The first pitch is in tight to Castillo.
Yeah, 100%. You would think after a longer inning he'd want more warm-up pitches, and interesting that we see him come set and ready so early, still wiggling around a little bit, but with that glove up near his face.
Gets a piece of it but fouls it back. The first inning, the Bucs, an RBI double from Carlone and then an RBI single from Eisenstadt. That scored Burns and Carlone. That's where we stand, 2-1. Man, fidgety out there in his windup as that one's also inside to Castillo.
And none of the bottom four in this Bucs order faced Leon in Game 1 of that 5-game series on Tuesday. It was Burns, Callahan, Eisenstadt, and Ross of the 9 in the lineup today. And get back to their results as there's a called strike when they come to the plate next.
Really good slider by Leon, and he is not waiting on Castillo. Castillo, I like that he's taking his own time, though. Leon quickly ready again, 2-2, check swing, they'll appeal. He did not go. After Castillo, it's Brody Briggs and then Christian Powell as we flip back to the top of the order. Full count pitch, here it is. Chopped foul. Man, new clean shape for Brody Briggs. Looks like a whole new man.
He does.
We'll see that when he comes to the plate. Another full count pitch, too far upstairs, and it's a leadoff walk for the Bucs. Brett Castillo is aboard.
Yeah, great way to try to respond, even though the Oilers only scored 1 run.
He's already ready. He now working from the stretch, and he's already dangling that arm as Brody Briggs is now going to take his time. Sorry to cut you off, but I just think it's so impressive that he's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something he's comfortable with, but for most guys, I would think that'd be pretty uncomfortable.
So Leon ready. First one to Briggs, misses in the dirt.
And of course, that run last inning, that will be unearned because of the error that enabled Thomas to reach. As for both the Bucs runs, those will be earned, the error coming after both those runs were scored.
1 ball, no strikes. Pitch is cracked into left center field, but Bryce Berkey shades over and will make the grab, 1 down.
Yeah, good to see Briggs going the other way, just unlucky that time.
So that'll bring up Christian Powell. Powell we saw with a really nice double in one of the games versus the Oilers. That plated a run.
Yeah, that was Game 4. Plated 2 runs.
Yeah, and that was a big hit. He absolutely cranked it, and doesn't even matter that the outfield was pretty shallow like normal. That thing was going to the wall either way. Good to see his bat get going. Love to see him get a base hit right here. First pitch to him. Soft fly ball to center field. Could get down, and it is going to get down. Colin Robson is pretty far back from what we're used to seeing out in center field in terms of Max Ross and Zane Kelly, Riley Hunsaker, who plays out there, and that might have come to bite him.
Yeah, and loved what we saw on the base pass from Castillo there. Did exactly what you're supposed to, halfway between first and second with an eye towards the fielders, and started going a little bit more towards second once he saw them scrambling, and then went on over to second after he saw it hit the ground. Just textbook.
So after giving up the run in the top half of the inning, the Bucs bats not liking that too much and trying to get that run right back and add on a couple of more. Will Burns, top of the order, squares to bunt, and he bunts it foul. Had a lot of spin on it. Unable to keep it fair down the line. It's pretty windy here now as it's picked up.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of moving directions a little bit now, blowing a little bit from the left field line, I'd say. But for Burns, did face Leon in Game 1. Struck out swinging, but also had a base hit.
Love to see the Bucs bats find a jet stream. That wind is blowing out at one of these times. It's been blowing in, though, so might not get too lucky with it. 0-1, it's down and away. Will, do you think that with the wind picking up like it is right now, that the Bucs kind of noticed that and are switching up their game plan a little bit, trying to hit more down on the ball, hit it through the hole, get it on the ground so they get in the air?
I think you got to keep your same approach. You're always, I feel like, trying to hit that ball on a line.
1-1. Breaking ball left up high. Good slider, though. I'm just going to call it a slider because it's got so much horizontal movement. I almost see no vertical break, which is fine. It's got a lot of movement, similar to how Zan Rose is a little bit.
Maybe more of a sweeper.
Exactly. The righty ready takes a look at second. The 2-1. Swung on and missed. Burns looked like he came out of that swing.
Looked like he went back to that same pitch, just breaking away from the righty, and looks so good most of the way, and then you swing at it and it's just further away than your bat head reaches.
We've seen an influx in strikeouts, swinging strikeouts from Will Burns, who's very disciplined at the plate. Had a lot against the Oilers, more than he's used to probably this summer. 2-2 cranks it into left field, but an inside-out type of swing, and it's caught by Bryce Berkey. And I guess it was the opposite of inside-out. It looked like the pitch is on the outer half and somehow was able to pull it into left field, so not a lot on it. And that's why it hung up there for Bryce Berkey. And all of a sudden, 2 down with those 2 runners aboard still. Leon just 1 pitch away from getting out of this second.
And talking about that win, that ball seemed like it was hit decently off the bat, but we can tell as that ball was hit right in front of the flags that the wind's just blowing straight in, and that ball just died.
Didn't help that it was an awkward swing from Burns. Now looking back, thinks maybe he should have gone the opposite way with it. So Carlone bats in an excuse me swing as he goes around for strike 1.
Not something we see from Carlone a ton, but we saw in that series 1AB where he had a big swing that he wouldn't be proud of coming up empty and then just really shortened up on the next pitch. So Carlone is a guy who, within a single at-bat, is really good at making adjustments.
0-1, nice breaking ball. Carlone, real frustrated he didn't pull the trigger on that. On deck, Ryan Callahan. Carlone already has 1 RBI today. Second one standing at second base in the form of Brett Castillo. Leon ready, the 0-2. It's too far outside. Nothing going on in the Bucs bullpen. Did say that there was guys running out there, and they're still over there, but no one has gotten up and ready. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Foul ball.
Caught a couple guys back there. Not sure if it got any of Carlone, but I think it got Betot and the home plate umpire.
Definitely heard a ricochet off something. A couple of somethings. Righty ready, now a 1-2. Hit up the middle, but Petey Soto's right there. He's going to step on second and go the short way. So the Bucs get 2 on, but can't get 2 in. We head to the top half of the 3rd inning. The score still 2-1. Bucs lead it. Top half of the 3rd inning. Sandrose still out on the hill. A tough inning last go around. Walked 3 batters and walked a batter in, actually. So score is 2-1 after tough sledding. He'll face Cole Dawson, Colin Robson, and Ty Thomas.
And things just bad from the get-go in that inning with that error in the field over at third base from Callahan, and just never really recovered. Did have one at-bat where he looked really good, but not his best inning.
This one is lined to short and a great stop and catch by Will Burns, who's able to haul that baby in.
And how about the smooth little slide and spin after securing it on the ground?
Love it. These guys utilize this turf infield and a little bit of that outfield, as that one was hit into the, I guess you could say, 15 to 20 feet of outfield turf before the grass starts. So yeah, these guys utilize that a lot and was able to make a nice sliding grab at that. So Colin Robson bats and takes a called strike. He struck out back in the first.
3 strikeouts for Rose the first time through the order.
Oh, one. Look what I found! Zan Rose holds the glove out there, and that ball just crept on in its way.
So nonchalant with it too. Like he didn't. He just turned around like it was a strikeout or something and circled the mound.
I mean, that is as lucky as you get. That ball was hit directly into his mitt. The only thing that Rose could have done is maybe held it out there a little bit longer, but that ball was hit so hard, I don't even know if he had time to recognize where it was going. So 2 quick outs. Ty Thomas takes the ball downstairs, and this would be a great get-back inning if he can get a 1-2-3.
Absolutely, would love to see that.
Righty working from the windup delivers a pop fly, shallow right field. Coming in is Andrew Lamb. He makes the grab and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Zan Rose. A couple line outs and a fly out to right field does the trick. So we head to the bottom half of the third inning. Still a 2-1 score. Bucs lead it. Right back to you. And both Leon and Zan Rose do not need that many warm-up tosses to get ready. And the diversion on the field, I'm sure just a baseball is crept onto the field, but that does not bother Leon. He is standing still like a statue on the hill, and he's already ready to go.
Yeah, if I'm Bucs hitter, I'm taking my time. Try to make him feel a little bit awkward up there.
Ryan Callahan, leadoff batter, swings and misses at that one. Leadoff batter for this inning. He's the 3-hole batter for the Bucs. He grounded back to the pitcher in his first at bat.
Callahan, not great luck against Leon the first time around. 2 double plays that he grounded into.
And technically had 2 outs versus him in his first at bat, with the one getting called back because of a balk, and he had another chance at him and a ground ball out. Leon ready, 1-1. Popped him up in the infield. It's going to be Leon to take it himself, and the pitcher makes the grab, something you don't always see, but that one, he had more of an excuse than other plays.
He made it very clear that that was his ball. I could hear him from up here, and Cole Dawson, I think, tried to call him off once, and then after that second yell, he let his pitcher have it.
Yeah, I think he heard the bark and did not want any of the bite. You don't see F1 written in a lot of score Bucs, but today, Leon grabs that one himself for the first out here. So Tommy Eisenstadt is is up, and he flies this one into left center field. It's Bryce Berkey, the left fielder, to come on and grab it. So one pitch takes care of Tommy Eisenstadt, and similarly to Zan Rose last half inning, a very quick start to the third.
Yeah, 2 outs and what, 3 pitches for Leon, and for these Bucks, want to at least take a few and give Zan a bit of a rest.
Or maybe Zan saying, hey, speed this thing up a little bit. All I need is one run. It's like Tom Glavine in Game 6 of the World Series. Back in 95. That one outside to Max Ross. So Leon trying to make the third the quickest inning for him today. And his first 1-2-3 if he can get Max Ross. So he gets a called strike there.
Ross 0 for 2 back on Tuesday against Leon. Eisenstadt also 0 for 2. So Will Burns, of the 4 guys in the lineup tonight who also faced him the first time around, the only one with a base hit.
1-1 The pitch on the outer half for a strike. And see some of you using the chat future on YouTube. We remind you that we've been doing some social media stuff, asking the players some questions. So if you have any questions that you want to find out from these ball players, superstitions we've already done, pet peeves, please let us know, as that one hits Max Ross and he's shaking his head. He can't seem to get out of the way of anything that comes.
Well, first of all, I don't think he tries to get out of the way, which I commend, but he's a magnet up there at the plate. I mean, he's been hit by so many pitches this season, and that time I think just taking it on his backside, so not the worst place to get hit.
So the second hit by pitch, the first one was the first batter, Will Burns, got plugged. Ended up stealing a bag and was able to come around after the RBI from Carlone. And I think Leon, with how quickly he gets ready, was already ready to go, as Max Ross said, wait, give me a sec, I got to shake this one off real quick. I think that's exactly what happened. Leon was already on the hill, and they had to tell him to step off and give Max Ross some time. So Ross is okay. Mind you, he's been hit by a lot of pitches this season, and it's unfortunate because he just can't seem to find that luck, because his bat has also gotten damaged a good bit. He's gone through 6 last time we checked. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another 2 added on it. Andrew Lamb takes that one outside, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play.
And great job by Leon there, pausing when he was set. And Max Ross, a guy who is probably thinking about stealing, that makes it really tough to time up the pitcher.
For Leon, Lamb is just the type of batter you don't want in the batter's box, considering after every pitch goes and rubs on the turf a little bit. After every pitch he does that. That one's a ball in the outer half, and there he goes again. And it's pretty quick that he does that, but it's after the fact where it takes time, gets a sign from Sanagorski, talks to the umpire like he's doing right now, does all of his routine stuff, and now, yeah, he's definitely doing a little bit more now. I think he notices what Leon is up to.
I love it. I'm smiling ear to ear up here.
See if it works, and throws Leon off a little bit. Max Ross at first. That one's just off the plate. A delayed steal. No one's at second base. That one gets in the outfield, and it gets past Max Rothberg. And moving up 90 feet is Max Ross. And what a stand-up play that was.
Genius play by Max Ross. Nobody went to cover, and he just went on over and easily made it.
That's the thing about delayed steals, is if you can time it perfectly. And we've seen the Bucs struggle sometimes with it, but they have also been, for the most part, really good at it. Because if you time it right, the pitcher is already going to home plate. That ball sometimes is already in the catcher's mitt, but if there's no one at second base, the catcher can't really throw it just to the bag. 3-0 is a called strike. But like I said, even if it's a perfect pitch to throw down to for me, Todd, if Soto or Rothberg isn't there to cover because it's a delayed steal, then Ross has got it every time.
That ball.
Yeah, exactly. There was no chance of getting Ross at all. This one's tapped out towards Leon. He has one play, and it's to first, so he saves a run, and Max Ross, who is coming around to score, gets the ground ball out. So not a 1-2-3 inning with a 2-out walk, but a good one for Leon as he doesn't give up another run. 2-1 is the score. The Bucs still lead it as we head to the 4th. Welcome back. Scores 2-1. The Bucs still lead. Leone able to get out of a little bit of a jam. Max Ross was able to snag second, and then on the missed throw was able to go to third, was standing just 90 feet away, but gets the ground ball, and he gets out of the inning. And now for the play-by-play, here's Will Hopkins.
Appreciate it, Vic. Zan Rose out for the 4th inning. He'll face 5, 6, and 7. Struck out Cole Wilson looking the first time that the right fielder came to the plate. Looks at this one, but it's outside.
And a great get-back inning for Zan. His second 1-2-3, but first 1-2-3 where he didn't allow a runner aboard. And it's a very quick inning, didn't need a single strikeout.
Yeah, great stuff from Rose that inning, and hopefully he can continue it here, but falling behind a little bit to Cole Wilson, 2-0. And this one catches the outside corner to get into the strike column.
You just love to see Zan, when he gets a 2-0 count like that, try to find the zone before it gets to 3-0. We've seen a lot of 3-0 counts, seen a lot of walks so far, 3 in that second inning. Love to see him find that command, try to fight back in counts.
And now he evens it up, gets a swing and a miss from Wilson, and that's definitely some good fight back from Zan Rose.
Oh, 100%. And here, just stay ahead. Now you have 2 strikes, and you've seen that maybe not as much command. Try to attack him right here. Don't give him anything for free.
Wilson stays alive. Looks like Rose has a pretty clear plan in this at-bat to target that outside part of the strike zone.
Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to run that 2-seam in now. He's gone outside so many times, trying to switch up where he's looking.
Instead, tried to get that front door slider, but stays too far inside.
Good pitch, too. Not a bad miss at all. Wanted the swing and miss.
So the count's full to the leadoff man in the 4th. 3-2 pitch. Just a bit upstairs, and it's a leadoff walk for Cole Wilson.
Yeah, it seems like when he gets to 3 balls, no matter if it's 3-0 or 3-2, just seems like he's trying to pitch around these guys. He's not missing by much, that's the thing. I'd like to see him attack more. That's what he was doing against Matsu, and they just really couldn't touch him that much. So with that leadoff walk, the same guys who went out to the bullpen back in the 2nd inning are running back out there now. Looks like it's Elijah Dew heading out with Dylan Malpe, a catcher.
4th walk for Zan Rose, and in the 13th inning, 13 innings coming in, that's how many he had.
Rothberg squares but pulls it back.
And for Rose, he walked Rothberg the first time he came to the plate. But just obviously not with his grade A stuff today, but even still, 1 run through 3 innings. Evens the count. After Rothberg, it'll be Andres Mitat. See if Rose can get one rolling here and let Burns and Powell up the middle do some work. 1-1 to the second baseman. Squares again. It's outside. Throw back to first. And nice job by Eisenstadt just making sure to get in front of that ball.
Yeah, we've seen Briggs do that a lot. It seems like he always has the runner inching towards second base. And not that it's a bad throw a lot of the time, but just seems like it takes a long time for the ball to get there and for that tag to be applied. And when that all goes down, the runner's usually safe.
Count now 2-1. Runner goes, gets the bunt down, and it'll stay fair. Briggs with a spinning throw gets him at first. Great job by Brody Briggs.
What a play. It's a tough one to make always.
Wasn't sure if that ball was going to stay fair, but definitely wasn't obvious if it wasn't going to, and Briggs not taking any chances. Wilson was always going to be safe going with the pitch, and Rothberg did a good job getting it down. Could have easily beat that out, except for a great play by the Bucs catchers. Now, Wilson at second, but 1 away, as the Oilers catcher comes to the plate. Mitat, one of Rose's strikeout victims. Rose with 3.
Yeah, I like to see him not try to focus on that runner at second. Just focus on the batter here. That one job.
A 1 pitch grounded foul just to the left of third base.
Yeah, that one was close. Mitat didn't let it get deep enough and was unable to keep that one fair, but good luck for Zan Rose. That could have been trouble.
So 0-2 the count on Andres Mitat. Rose looking for out number 2 here in the 4th. And that one's outside. Cody knew the designated hitter waits on deck. Rose already over 60 pitches. Here comes the 1-2. And just a bit outside.
Yeah, and that's definitely odd. In his first couple of starts, Zan was only scheduled to go 60 pitches, and for most of those, we saw him go through 4 innings with ease and have a couple pitches left over. I've actually seen him go into the 5th with a pitch count of 60, just barely surpasses it now already with 60.
2-2, swing and a miss from Mitat. Strikeout number 4 for Zan Rose here in the 4th.
Yeah, Mitat, just someone who's struggling right now at the plate. He's just not been hitting well this season for the Oilers. And as of late, piling up those strikeouts, it seems. Had a good bit when he was starting in, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd game.
That's now 11 strikeouts in 19 at-bats and still looking for his first hit.
Yeah, it's tough sledding.
And inside corner on Cody New. Good job by Rhodes starting him out with a strike. Looking to leave Wilson stranded at 2nd and give the bats back to the Bucs. Bucs will have an off day tomorrow, so shouldn't be too nervous to get into that bullpen. Also, with the off day yesterday, grounder to 2nd. Christian Powell on a few hops and over to Eisenstadt for out number 3. Cole Wilson stranded at 2nd base. It's a scoreless top half of the 4th for the Oilers. 2-1, Bucs lead it. Back for the home half of the 4th inning. 2 in the 1st from the Bucs and 1 in the 2nd from the Oilers. That's where we stand. It'll be the bottom 3rd of this Bucs order. Brett Castillo, Brody Briggs, and Christian Powell. Castillo walked his first time to the plate, swings at the first pitch, and this one just barely leaving the infield dirt, and Rothberg takes care of it.
Yeah, we saw last inning some really quick outs. Those first 2 outs by Callahan and Eisenstadt, just 2 or 3 pitches. 1 pitch for Tommy Eisenstadt, just a couple for Callahan. Like to see them go deeper with Leone and try to get his pitch count up a little bit. Zan Rose is pretty high right now, and I have a 53 pitch count for Leone, so he's doing pretty well considering the 2 runs given up.
Brody Briggs takes a strike, went the other way with it, but pretty much right at Bryce Berkey, the left fielder, back when he came to the plate the first time around. Now the count even 1-1.
I think it's funny. Leone is a character out there, just to say the least. He's talking with the home plate umpire, just asking with his hands whether that's up or down, and I think it's funny. Usually it's more of a subtle thing and not like you're using their hands to try to describe where that pitch was. So it's funny that Leone is very comfortable out there. I really like that about him.
This one finds the zone, but Briggs able to spoil it foul to stay alive. I do have to compliment these jerseys for the Oilers.
Yeah. Saw them twice, right? These are the ones we saw
Yeah.
twice.
I will say the one thing, though, don't want to overdo them. The vested jerseys, I think, are better when used a little bit more rarely. That one's way high and past me tot. But you talked about Leon out there. I mean, that shakeoff was one of the more aggressive shakeoffs I've ever seen. He's making sure the catcher knows he doesn't like it, and he's not going to like that either. 3-2.
Yeah, not a lot of pitchers, but some pitchers you'll see very animated out there, wear their emotions on their shoulders, and Leon is the type of guy like that.
Strike 3 called. Brody Briggs had tossed the bat. He was ready to go to first. That looked like it was pretty far upstairs and maybe also outside.
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all. I'm not sure if Briggs just did that to try to sell the pitch more. Didn't really have anything to say to the home plate umpire, so could have been just that.
Well, he's also a catcher. You don't want to start any problems, and you're going to want that call for your pitcher. Christian Powell takes a strike. He retired Cody New to end the top of the fourth. And Leon working quickly. That one floats outside. If Powell can reach, it'll be the top of the order for the Bucs. Will Burns. Spoiled foul.
Man, it's as if he thinks the pitch count is on him.
I mean, he's moving. And Powell wisely steps out, buys himself a little bit more time, but now what's going on? Leon just very twitchy out there. 1-2 foul, and he's definitely got to change his habits a lot with runners on and be super careful. We already saw him called for one balk, and honestly, not that surprising given all he's got going on. 1-2 skied on the right side. It'll float into foul territory. First baseman Ty Thomas is over there, and he makes the play for the third out. Bucs go down in order 1-2-3. We head to the fifth. Throw down to second base, and we're ready for the fifth inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Oilers as Rose continues to work. Pitch count sitting in the mid to high 60s. It's really about keeping those guys from walking to first. Only one base hit for the Oilers, that coming off the bat of the leadoff man, Petey Soto. But other than that, it's really been self-inflicted from Rose. Also an error by the Bucs defensively, but just got to make these Oilers put the ball in play, and a good start there on Berkey.
Yeah, and I don't want to say anything bad about the Oilers' bats, but it seems like they've taken the lack of command for advantage and have done a good job at drawing walks, but nothing for the hit-wise.
Yep, softly on the ground to Eisenstadt. He says, I'll take it myself to the pitcher, Zanrose, and quickly one out.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's not like they're not trying to hit the ball. It's not what I'm trying to say, but with the lack of command, they are taking advantage of it and putting guys on and are able to put together really good at-bats. And we talked about it. The Oilers team, a really good team at fighting during at-bats, staying alive, and are drawing a lot of walks today versus a guy that has had really good command all year.
Soto takes a strike. He had the lone base hit to get things going tonight. Also flew out with the bases loaded to end the second inning. This one 5 feet short of home plate.
Yeah, not really sure what happened. That one looked like it hung on the fingertips a little too long, or a lot too long.
Good thing nobody on base with that one. Briggs had no chance. 1-1, way up and in, and now 2-1 to Soto. Two one, and that's high. So started Soto with the strike, and then 3 straight balls. And that's kind of what we've seen from Rose. Right when it seems like he's about to lock in and get back to his usual self, gets back into the habit of missing the zone. Count now 3-1. This one swung on and hammered out to left. That's going to get caught up in this wind for the Bucs left fielder Brett Castillo, second out.
I'll just say it. He just missed that baseball. That was a gargantuan swing from Soto and just got a little under it. And that wind's not blowing out there, and there's a jet stream. He gets a little bit more on top of that, and that is definitely hitting off the wall, and maybe it's over the wall. So, good break for Zan Rose. Like I said, it takes a lot to get a ball out here.
It's now Cole Dawson with the bases empty and 2 away. Beautiful slider starting at that shoulder almost of Dawson, just right into the strike zone.
That's the best pitch that we've seen from Zan Rose on that slider. Just perfect.
And when he's at his best, that slider's money.
Oh, 100%. That's his go-to.
Goes back to it, this time looking on the outer half, and Brody Briggs was expecting that strike call.
Yeah, I think Zan was too. Not a bad miss at all. But you threw that last one on the inner half, and that one looks a lot more outside than it usually does because of that last pitch.
So now 1-1. This one hit out into left field, and that's going to be a base hit for Cole Dawson, excuse me.
Yeah, it looked like he hung maybe the slider there. I think it was similar to the P.D. Soto flyout. This time, Cole Dawson able to hit that on the line. Unfortunately for Soto, just got under it a little bit.
So now Colin Robson comes to the plate. 0 for 2 so far today, but like we talked about throughout that series in Kenai, one of the most dangerous hitters on this team. Came into play hitting .320, also has 2 home runs, was only joined in the home run club by today's starting pitcher for the Oilers. Runner goes, pitches low, throw down to second is bounced and wouldn't have been in time anyways, and Cole Dawson moves himself into scoring position.
Really good jump by Dawson. Not really any chance for Briggs to get him, and an awkward pitch to be able to get him out on as well.
So now to the plate, Colin Robson 1-0, and now 1-1. Rose getting that call. Thought it maybe looked a little bit inside, but Rose able to get the approval from the home plate umpire. And even though Dawson is in scoring position, there are 2 away, so Rose just needs to take care of Robson. Long look at Dawson at second, though, and now home with it. And he's got Robson down 1-2.
Yep, got ahead. Now just stay ahead. Keep battling. You know Robson is the type of guy to keep fouling off pitch after pitch. Don't try to work around him. Don't try to get him to chase anything outside of the zone. They know that you've been having lack of command today, so likely you probably not going to get a chase and miss. I'd be surprised.
I don't know. Robson leading the team in strikeouts, so wouldn't mind Rose trying to get him to expand at least with 1 pitch. But at the same time, Rose has struggled with his command, so might not want to put a ball up on that count if he doesn't have to. Now 2-2. Robson coming in with 15, added 1 in the first, 16 strikeouts.
Yeah, well, still one of their best hitters, but that's unfortunately the give and take you got to have. And yeah, one of your best hitters, but he's going to swing and miss a good bit. Bucs have been fortunate. That's not really the case for their best hitters.
With deuces wild, the ball is bounced to the first baseman. Eisenstadt takes it to first himself, and Rose strands Dawson at second. 3 straight scoreless frames for Zan Rose. The Bucs head back to the plate looking to expand upon the 1-run lead. Welcome back for the bottom of the fifth. Appreciate everyone tuning in on this Monday evening, wherever you may be, at home, on vacation, maybe at the lake with some family.
Of course, yeah. Love a good lake trip.
Always good to watch baseball with some family as Coach Dunham gets on his high horse running over to first. A little karaoke mixed on over there. Feeling himself.
Mm-hmm.
First pitch is outside, and Burns able to lay off of it.
Land's done a good job. Struggled back in the first inning, but since then has been really sharp.
1-0 hit out into right center field, and that's going to get down. Leadoff man aboard for the Bucs in the fifth.
Good deal hit by Burns. We've seen him, like I said, the strikeouts increase a little bit. His chase rate went up. He was chasing balls outside the zone a little bit. Something we haven't seen. He's been one of the Bucs' best hitters. Goes to Texas Tech. He is familiar with high caliber pitching. And there's a great example of the righty hitting it where it's pitched, going away with it, keeping his head on the baseball, keeping his hands in, and not dipping out of the batter's box to try to hit that or try to pull that ball into left field. So great deal for him, and hopefully that bat gets going once again. Struggled a little bit out in the Peninsula for him. Didn't go over. But better ball on the horizon is, I'm sure, is what he thinks.
And as you talk about going the other way with it, Cole Carlone steps to the plate. The master of doing that, did it with a double back in the first. This time he hits it on the right side, but that's through for a base hit. Will Burns makes the turnaround second. He's going to get into third base, and Carlone wisely goes to second and takes his extra 90 feet. Shocked that ball did not get cut off. They didn't have a chance at getting Burns, and we've seen Carlone do that all season long. When they're going to give him his extra 90, he's going to take it.
Yeah, and it's such a good job because Carlone doesn't strike you as a speedster that's going to take extra bags like that. But those long legs, he's faster than you think. But it's not about him being speedy at all. It's just about his mindset. And that IQ, the baseball IQ, is so good. And looking at the monitor now, he's got his eyes locked onto the right fielder, Cole Wilson. Once he sees that release out of the hand, he is on his way to second base. Great job.
Infield comes in for Ryan Callahan as he takes a strike with Will Burns at third, Carlone at second. Nobody out in the bottom of the fifth. Bucs looking to increase what's just a one-run lead. Big spot here in this game. Leone's second pitch to Callahan. Line foul.
Yeah, you'd love to see the Bucs get a couple more runs here, pad the lead, and just not look back. That's what happened on the second to last game out there. One run, and seemed like the first 4 innings to get out to a good lead, and just kept adding on, and could do the same here.
Carlone with a double in the first, and now a single and advances to second. So he's been on second both times he's come to the plate. 0-2 way up and away, and good job from Mita to hop out of his stance to corral that one.
Yeah, both quick at bats to Burns and Carlone, but what I did see in Burns at bat is he was missing a little bit, more wild than he was in the first couple of frames.
Now the 1-2. Way outside, and once again, great stop by Mita, and I think he kind of snow-coned that one.
Yeah, he sure did. That one got right into the webbing, and if that wrist is not as strong as it usually is, Mita, that thing is taking the glove off, and Burns is scoring.
Great speed at both bases for the Bucs. Carlone at second, Burns at third. 2-2 the count to Callahan. Hits it high into right field. Retreating is Cole Wilson. He makes the catch just shy of the warning track, but both runners will advance. It's 3-1 Bucs.
Yeah, just missed it. That one was hit really well by Callahan. Had a little bit under that baseball, but a really good deal of hitting, and he gets his RBI.
Yep, picks up the RBI on the sac fly. And the Bucs lead it 3-1 still. Now a runner at third. Cole Carlone moving up with that fly ball, and Eisenstadt, who already has a single and an RBI scoring Carlone, would love to do it again. Infield stays in with just one out. Pitch is high, and Mita was looking to go over to third, but Dawson wasn't ready.
And it's good to see the Bucs getting him in with a sac fly. We saw a lot of guys left on base in the Peninsula trip. A lot of opportunities for these Bucs. Left 6 on base in just the first 3 frames.
This one grounded on the right side and off the glove of Ty Thomas. Cole Carlone comes around to score, and Eisenstadt reaches safely at first. That'll be a single. Super tough play for Ty Thomas to make. on the hop. Did a good job of getting any leather on it, but all counts the same on the scoreboard. 4-1, the Bucs lead it.
Yeah, that one way too hot to corral for Ty Thomas over there at first base. Just unfortunate. It looks like that's going to prompt a mound visit. Pitching coach for the Orioles is going to come take a visit with his starting pitcher. But, yeah, that one a weird hop and tough play, especially with infield in. Not a lot of opportunity to make that play.
And that's the risk you take by bringing the infield in. You have much less reaction time, and that's exactly what happened there. If the infield's at regular depth, Ty Thomas likely makes that play. Carlone still scores, but he'd have Eisenstadt at first in all likelihood, but that's the risk you take trying to keep the score where it is.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Leon was shaking his head for some other reason, but he was kind of shaking it. It looked like he was shaking his head just because he didn't think that he needed the visit, but I guess a good decision.
Yeah, good decision for sure for them to go have a chat. Bucs looking for more, up 4-1. 2 in the first and now 2 in the fifth, and whether we see Zan Rose in the sixth or not, in line for the win, and now a little bit of padded security for the Bucs as the first pitch to Max Ross misses. He's reached base both times he's been to the plate. An error and a hit by pitch. Four runs on 6 hits for the Bucs. And Ross takes one low. Even when Ross was struggling the first couple weeks of the season, he wasn't expanding the zone. He was putting the ball in play, and I think that good approach has led to the success we've seen over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, just needed that bat to wake up, and he's done a good job of getting himself on base on balls or an error, just finding himself on with a fielder's choice, and runs the bases well, makes smart decisions, and now he's getting rewarded for that.
Super late strike call. Now 2-1. And yeah, we saw him wreak havoc on the base paths even after being hit by a pitch. Eisenstadt at first, the 2-1 to Ross way outside. And we've seen some pitches from Leon this inning that just aren't even close.
Yeah, and not the type of guy you want to work around. Ross, like we said, manufactures getting himself on base any way he can, and he's got a very disciplined eye, so you don't catch him swinging at too many things out of the zone.
Runner goes, pitches hit on the right side, right at the second baseman, Rothberg. He takes it on a hop and makes the throw to first, but that stealing attempt by Eisenstadt keeps the Bucs out of a double play.
Yeah, it does. Good job by Eisenstadt, and actually did a good job of kind of placing himself in between that ball and Rothberg, and a great play by Rothberg. That ball, not the easiest play, and especially when a runner in Eisenstadt is running right in front of you. Kind of for a split second, that ball disappears, of course, with Eisenstadt running in front.
Unfortunate for the Bucs that Rothberg wasn't covering second base. Otherwise, the stolen base attempt probably would have taken him away from the ball.
Definitely.
But with Ross the lefty up, didn't have to see Soto Jr. play tight towards third with a righty at the plate. Maybe it would have been Rothberg covering there. 1-0 the count to Lamb. Eisenstadt in scoring position. Bucs already with 2 this inning. Lamb trying to bring Eisenstadt home for another. And just like we saw last time, Lamb having a chat with the home plate umpire, staying out of the box. No pitch clock, so no need for Lamb to get in there and make eye contact like you have to do at some higher levels. Might as well try to throw Leon's rhythm off. You really got to wait to see if it's a strike, huh?
You really do. I mean, it is. I want to go ahead and punch it in, but I can't yet because it's just such a late call. And that one looked a little bit upstairs to my liking, but Lamb doesn't have too much of a problem with it.
Just don't see the need to wait so long to make the call.
I don't know why you had. It's not like, no offense, not like people are coming here to see your calls. I hate to be like that.
Grounder on the right side, sliding by Thomas, and the throw goes past Leon. Eisenstadt's going to come around to score. It's 5-1 Bucs as Lamb strolls into second base, and Ty Thomas knocked the ball down, and then I think kind of just scrambled because he didn't field it cleanly, thought he had to rush the throw, and Leon had no chance of fielding that throw.
Yeah, not at all. And with 2 outs, Eisenstadt was running around the bases like usual, trying to go home if something happens, and something did happen that play. So a really good job and able to score.
And so now I think that might be the end of the line for Eddie Leon. Pretty unlucky to go out that way, but this is the head coach for the Oilers, Larry McCann.
Yeah, I shook his hand.
So that's going to be that. The Bucs have plated 3 in the bottom of the 5th. We're going to take a quick break for the pitching change, and when we come back, Brett Castillo will be at the plate, still looking to add more for the Bucs. Back here, still in the bottom of the 5th, new pitcher on for the Oilers is Colby Reynolds, 6'4", 225 out of Johnson University, making him a teammate of Elijah Dew and Nolan Cusey of the Bucs. And this will be his 4th outing in league play through 3 appearances, 0-1, with a 3.24 ERA and 8 1/3 innings pitched with 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, his last time out was against these Bucs back in the first game down in the Peninsula. At one game, gave up, just loading with stuff. Oh, that was, of course, pitching. 2 innings, 2 hits, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs. So a tough outing against these Bucs. That was the game that the Bucs won, and was a part of that win for the Bucs as they were able to score 3 off of him, 6 hits. So they saw him really well.
It was actually 2 hits with 6 runs, 3 of them earned, which I understand why you wouldn't think there'd be such a large disparity. But in that first game of the series, we saw some major problems defensively for the Oilers, and Reynolds didn't get any help there. This one tapped down the line, foul.
Yeah, and we've seen it a lot of times where the Bucs actually have more runs than hits, and a lot of times that's just because they're getting gifts, really. Errors and fielder's choices that score runs, of course, sac flies, anything like that. Bucs just doing a good job of taking advantage.
Castillo fouls another one off. Good job by him staying alive. Andrew Lamb at second base. He reached on an error by Ty Thomas. Gave the Bucs their 5th run. This one is hammered over the leaping Cole Dawson and into left field. Andrew Lamb gets the green light. He'll score standing up. RBI single for Brett Castillo, and the Bucs continue to add on. It's 6-1.
Great job by Castillo, able to pull that baseball into left field, keeps his hands in, and gets to it really quickly.
And with 2 outs, Lamb had the luxury of going on contact, and that enabled him to score with ease.
And now Reynolds already giving up a base hit. That run does not go to him. That was Leon's runner in Andrew Lamb, who was aboard at second base. Well, technically not his.
Not
because
even
with
his
the
fault.
error, that's technically Ty Thomas's runner over there. So that's an unearned run for both Leone and Reynolds.
This one's skied on the infield. Sprinting in is Cole Dawson, and he's there for the third out. But the Bucs plate 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th and make the lead 5 runs at 6-1. Top of the 6th inning. Zan Rose still out there for the Bucs despite his pitch count being over 80 pitches. Now working with a 5-run lead for the Bucs. Having some, that one's grounded to third, 1 hop for Callahan. Strong throw to first, 1 pitch, 1 out. As I was about to say, having some internet problems with our scoreboard, hopefully not affecting the video stream, but it is 6-1 here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that fixed. It's not kind of really out of our hands with the internet being not working with us, really. It's working on our end.
So 6-1 with 1 away in the top of the 6th brings up Cole Wilson. Sends this one foul down the left field line, and it was interesting between innings with, I'd assume, Dylan Maltby catching in the bullpen. Right fielder Andrew Lamb had to put on a little bit of catcher's gear to catch for Zan Rose as Brody Briggs got his stuff on between innings, and Wilson now 0-2. After Cole Wilson, it'll be Max Rothberg. That one slides outside from Rose, and really letting him pitch. He's over 80 pitches. I would have to assume this is his last inning, but Montez, Springman, and company just letting him leave it all out there. Gets another ground ball. Will burns a few steps and then makes the throw.
And I really like the decision because Zan's the type of guy where they put him at 60 pitches, 4 innings for his first couple of starts and did well there, and why not? Yeah, he had some trouble back in the 2nd inning, just gave up that 1 run though, and his command has come back. He's looked really good, and he's definitely your top 3 starters from what we've seen. Of course, Garvey Rummery in his last game pitched an absolute gem, so there's definitely a fight for that top 3 spots, given that Carlone and White Howerson have looked really good too.
This one hit hard into left field. That's going to get down. Rothberg stays at first base as Castillo gets to that one pretty quickly. Was just about to say that we often see Zan's best stuff in his later work, but unfortunately that time prevented from having the 1-2-3.
Yeah, we see him empty out the gas tank is what he likes to say when he knows it's probably his last inning or so. But given that he's surpassed 80 pitches, I would assume that that gas tank is not as full in the later parts of the game in consideration to when he's in the game with 60 to 70 pitches in the 4th inning. We're here in the sixth inning, he's around 80 to 90 pitches now.
Well, good guy for Rose to face, and Mitot got him swinging twice and now gets him to pop it up. Shallow left field. It'll be the left fielder Castillo, and there it is. So the lone base hit for the Oilers in the sixth, but Rose able to retire Mitot through 5.5, 6-1 Bucs. Home half of the sixth inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. Colby Reynolds stays out there for the Oilers. He'll face 9-1-2 for the Bucs.
And a good lead now for the Bucs, but it's not safe. We saw the Oilers come back down 6 runs when we were there in the last game. So
in one inning.
Yeah, and exactly a 6-spot put up a couple innings after the Bucs put up a 6-spot themselves. So this team can manufacture runs, and they could get way back into this ball game, no problem.
2-0 to Powell. Can now close the line on Eddie Leon. 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 1 walk, and just 1 strikeout.
Yeah, looked really good. And just struggled there at the end, trying to get these Bucs batters out, and fortunately doesn't go out with the best line. But considering what happened in the first inning and what happened in the next 3 frames with those goose eggs, still really good showing from him.
And that puts Powell on first to get things started, but going back to Leon, season low in innings, season low in strikeouts, just not his best stuff today. Also a season high in hits. So Bucs catching him when he doesn't have his grade A stuff, and kudos to Zan Rose, because we could tell he didn't have his grade A stuff either, but just battled a lot better than Leon did.
Yeah, he sure did. And he won it. And he won it with ease, because Leon comes out of the game now surrendering at least 4 runs. One of them was unearned. So good job by him. And going back to Leon, yeah, those 5 earned runs, 6 runs total, and just ran into some problems against these Bucs batters. But 5 runs, considering how he pitched, it's still a pretty good game.
Will Burns at the plate has scored twice. Back in the first and then just last inning. Powell goes. Pitch is a ball, and that throws way off the line. Over the head of Rothberg and easily into third base for Christian Powell. Not the first time we've seen a bad throw from Mitot at home plate.
Nope, not at all. And a good job by Powell, sliding feet first, and pops right up when he sees that ball go into center field. He was able to get there just third with ease, no problem.
1-0 the count to Burns, and infield comes in a bit. Not all the way in on the grass, at least up the middle. And Reynolds just really struggling to find the strike zone.
Yeah, his command is just off. He came in and unfortunately That base hit scored the run. It was unearned, though. That was by Tommy Eisenstadt. No walks, but facing another one here to Burns.
Check swing didn't go around. 3-0 as Cole Carlone waits on deck, and definitely a guy the Bucs would be excited to have up in a big spot. Maybe 2 on and nobody out. We'll see what Burns can do. Way ahead 3-0. Fouls this one back, had the green light.
Yeah, a little bit surprised considering Reynolds' lack of command in this inning to begin with, but with that lack of command, could see another ball right here, and that swing would not have mattered. Or you could see him make a mistake and Burns take advantage of it. One of the two.
Powell just 90 feet away. 3-1 to Burns. Bounced foul. Good job by Reynolds. Fell behind 3-0, and he's battled back to run the count full.
Yeah, and maybe Burns just helped him out a little bit. I don't know if that first one was a perfect strike. Looked a little upstairs, but I think he would have gotten the call either way. That one, little downstairs, but either way, back-to-back good pitches from Reynolds and sets himself up.
Full count pitch coming. Here it is. And that one's high. So in the end, Burns does get his walk. It's the second walk of the inning for Colby Reynolds. And Cole Carlone, who's already 2 for 3, also has an RBI and 2 runs scored, comes to the plate with 2 on and nobody out.
Well, that's a mouthful. He has just done so great today and just so great all season. Carlone's the type of guy, it's very soft-spoken, not super rowdy, not super, I guess, just not energetic as much as other guys on the team are. But when it comes to playing baseball, he puts his head down and he grinds on the mound and at the plate. Silent killer.
Fake steal by Will Burns as Reynolds misses again. Wonder if the Bucs will get up to some trickery with Powell at third and Burns at first, especially when you've seen some defensive mistakes from the Oilers, not just this game, but last series. Might not be the worst idea. Throw back to first, and Powell watching to make sure that if that throw got away, he'd be ready to go home. Receiving some instructions from the third base coach, Coach Taylor Sanagorski.
And I know there's nobody out, but no one in the bullpen is actively warming up, so Zan Rose could have another inning left in him. Will, I mean, there's no one out there. But now looking at it, it actually looks like Zan Rose might have just put the hoodie on in the bullpen. I've seen him go out there a couple of times after his starts. That's probably where he leaves his stuff most likely, out in the bullpen. But I think that's him out there. Dew is somewhat warming up. There's no one catching him up, though, so I'm just a little curious if someone's already ready and done warming up.
2-1 to Carlone. Actually 3-0.
Yeah.
I thought the first 2 pitches were balls and thought maybe with this umpire I just missed a strike call.
Yeah, I was a little confused too. I didn't see a strike or a foul ball of any sorts, but yeah, 3-0. So we get that all settled. And
now an intentional walk, huh?
I assume so. Unless we missed another one. I don't think we did.
Yeah, I think that they just decided they're going to put him on, and honestly, can't really blame them. With the way Cole Carlone hits the baseball ahead 3-0, might not be their worst idea, but Callahan's been super productive over the last couple of weeks. Has a sac fly for an RBI already today, and looking at his season stats, Callahan came into play today hitting a whopping .419. So it's kind of pick your poison in the middle of this lineup with Tommy Eisenstadt on deck too.
Yeah, it really is, and you do have a base open, and now you've got the force out working, but you're going in the need of this order really, and Callahan, yeah, is 0 for 3. He's been one of the better bats for the Bucs lately, and Eisenstadt is 2 for 3 tonight.
0-1 hit to the shortstop Soto. Over to second for 1 and on to first, double play. Callahan with his 3rd double play of the season, or excuse me, his 3rd over these last couple games where Leon has started. This one coming off of Reynolds. Powell does come around to score, but I think Callahan would have been looking to do a bit more.
Yeah, definitely, but you'll take the RBI. We've seen the Bucs get a couple of RBIs with the double play.
That first win, that was the only RBI.
Yeah. Tough to score runs against the Glacier Pilots earlier on. Whoa.
This one hit out to right field down the line, and that'll go foul.
Wow, that was crushed by Eisenstadt. Right size, wrong shape.
So 0-1 for Eisenstadt. Maybe he can straighten it out. Bucks add one on here in the sixth. It was the add-on runs in Game 5 of the series that were so big for the Oilers. This time Eisenstadt testing the left side, and that's going to head for the seats.
Love Eisenstadt when he's really attacking and first pitch sees, barely hits it foul. Next one going the opposite way. If you're a fielder, you just don't really know what to think with Eisenstadt up there right now. He can go both directions.
Takes a close pitch. Definitely a tough take. Down 0-2, but gets the no call from the home plate umpire. 1-2 as Max Ross waits on deck. He'd love to have a chance with either Burns still in scoring position or maybe after Burns coming home and the Bucks leading 8-1. Ground ball on the right side. Another foul ball. Third from Eisenstadt in this sequence. Not sure what's going on at third base. Cole Dawson either swatting flies or trying to get that right shoulder stretched out. But Eisenstadt at the plate, and another foul ball.
Yeah, I like to see Eisenstadt keep fighting. Still down in the count, but just keep fouling balls off.
Hits this one hard out to right, but coming in is Cole Wilson, and he's able to make the play. The Bucks do add on a run, though. It's 7-1 as we head to the final three. Welcome back to Anchorage for the final 3 innings. Bucks lead at 7-1 in the top of the 7th. Now for the play-by-play, here's Vic Maslia.
Thank you, Will. A lot of good stuff has happened since you got on. 4 runs for the Bucks and 5 runs for the Bucks. And after a quick check of the glove, Dew is good to go.
And for Dew, this will be his 6th appearance in league play. Pitched against the Oilers back on the 26th, going 3 innings, 4 strikeouts. One of the longer outings we've seen from him for sure, but just that one rough outing against the Chinooks. 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Also a couple of hits in that outing against the Pilots without securing an out, but his other 3 appearances have been lights out.
Gets a called strike there. We know Dew to be a big strike thrower. Fills up the zone, wastes no time, does not try to work around batters, tiptoe around them at all. He goes straight at them and plays with a lot of heart, and some guy that you wouldn't expect to wear his emotions on his shoulders, he gets a big swing and a miss here, but definitely is someone that's hard on himself and goes out there and just tries to be in his best self every single game. And a lot of times he is his best self, and he looks really good. And he's looked really good this year. And the hiccups that he's had, he's bounced back in grand fashion. I think that says more about him than the actual hiccups themselves. 0-2. Flared into left field, foul ground, and it's out of the reach of Ryan Callahan. We'll try again. Cody New, Bryce Berkey, then top of the order, Petey Soto. It's 1, 2, 3. Or 8, 9, and 1. New is 0 for 1, walked in the second inning and then grounded out to the second baseman, Christian Powell.
Flew out to right against Dew in Game 2 of last series.
0-2, check swing, did he go? And they say no down the third base line. And a groan from the Bucs dugout, but looked like Cody New probably held it up.
Yeah, close though. Seemed close from up here.
Didn't help having a third base umpire down the line there in terms of the four-man crew. 1-2, chopper out to Powell. He gloves and the sidearm throw is in time, so back-to-back groundouts to Christian Powell for Cody New. And that brings up Bryce Berkey, who is 0 for 1, a ground out and a walk.
And going back to Dew in that appearance in Game 2 against the Oilers, it was a 5-2 loss for the Bucs, but Dew did his part, 9 up, 9 down, 4 Ks.
The righty Dew facing the lefty Berkey. The first pitch to him, swung on and missed. See a curveball from Dew, a two-seam changeup and fastball, of course.
Looked like it might have been the changeup.
Yeah, definitely. Something tailing away from him. Didn't look like it had the speed of the fastball.
Just kind of dove down towards the dirt right at home plate.
0-1, breaking ball misses down and in. Bucs have scored 5 unanswered runs after plating 2 in the first inning. One, popped up into left field. Brett Castillo comes in and he makes the grab, 2 down.
Yep, good stuff from Dew, even though that ball's hit in the air, not hit particularly hard, and that's the key for these pitchers, just limiting the hard contact, and especially with this wind, if you get a ball up in the air that's not hit particularly hard, it's going to hold up for these fielders.
So that'll bring up Petey Soto. The leadoff batter is 1 for 3, a single to lead things off here back in the first inning. First one, grounder out to short. Will Burns, plenty of time, and a strong throw gets Petey Soto. So a lightning fast inning for Elijah Dew as he gets the 1-2-3. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Time to stretch here in Anchorage, and if you're at home, of course. We head to the bottom half of the 7th, still a 7-1 lead for the Bucs. Welcome back. Hope you had a good 7th inning stretch. We sure did up here. And it's Max Ross to lead things off for the Bucs. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Colby Reynolds, still out on the hill, who relieved Eddie Leone. It's been a struggle for Reynolds, who gave up 1 run last inning, and then he's given up. That was just the 1 run he gave up. That other one was the unearned run.
Inherited runners. from Leone.
That one's a called strike to Ross. Going back to last inning, 3 walks for Colby Reynolds, and he is lucky to just surrender that 1 run. One of them was an intentional walk, but he did have Carlone in a 3-ball count. 0-2 just misses to Max Ross.
Yeah, I'm not giving him much slack for that intentional walk. When you fell behind 3-0,
Yeah.
kind of deserve that walk to your name.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Reynolds, big boy out there. Brings the pitch, and it's outside. Out in the bullpen, Adam Inyart, who obviously we've seen mostly hitting, but we have seen him fairly recently on the mound for the Bucs. Actually pitched against the Oilers in that series. I'm almost positive. 2-2 is out of play, foul.
That foul ball is brought to you by ABC Alaska.
Bucs pitching staff done a great job today. Zan Rose, hats off to him, and dude last inning, a 1-2-3 shutdown inning. Really good pitching for this Bucs pitching staff, and a swing and a miss from Max Ross, who gets fooled on the breaking ball. That's out number 1. You don't see Ross swing like that too much.
No, not at all. Been not his best day at the plate.
Reached on an error, a hit by pitch, and he's grounded out to the second baseman. That'll bring up Andrew Lamb. 0 for 2, reached on an error. He's also grounded into a double play, which ended the first inning. First pitch to him was fouled off his foot.
And talking about Enyart, he took over right after Dew in Game 2 of that series. Pitched the 8th inning. That was the final inning for the Oilers at the plate, and he did well. 1 inning, no hits, no runs. And for a guy that's not pitching crazy often and also pretty focused on his hitting, he'll take that for sure.
0-1 to Lamb, and a late swing means a swing and a miss. He just gets a piece of it, though. No balls, 2 strikes. Reynolds trying to make quick work of the Bucs bats here as he gets a ground ball out to short. Petey Soto flashes the leather and throws a strike to first to get Andrew Lamb. And he just looks like a big league ball player the way he makes those plays.
I mean, I don't even know that he looked that ball into his glove, and it wasn't the easiest play. Had to charge it. Ball was bouncing pretty low, and he just looks really smooth out there.
He sure is, and yes, he's struggled at the plate, at least against the Bucs in that 4 games that he played, and has the 1 hit tonight. But man, he has got a glove, and he's made pretty much every single play hit his way. Great guy to have on your team as Castillo rockets this one into right field, but it's going to hang up there for Cole Wilson. So just like Elijah Dew back in the top half of the 7th, Colby Reynolds has himself a quick 1-2-3 inning. We head to the top half of the 8th. Time running out for the Oilers. 7-1 is the score as the Bucs lead. Welcome back. Top half of the 8th inning. Just 6 outs left for the Oilers. And on the mound is Adam Enyard. And Purdue just didn't expect to pitch many innings in this game and gets the chance and did a good job. So we expect more innings for him on the horizon in terms of the recent future. But on the hill, Adam Enyard. And we've seen him hit a good bit. We've also seen him pitching too.
Yeah, we talked about his last outing, just last half inning. Only one other outing on the bump in league play, 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs.
And just like Zan Rose sets up all the way on that left side of the rubber, or right side of the rubber, his right side. Something you don't see from righties. And that one over his glove, and it's going to be up the middle. Will Burns tries to make the play, but it's going to be an infield single for Cole Dawson. First pitch and a base hit for the Oilers. They try to start something.
Yeah, I think one that Enyart would think that he can get, obviously not expected to make it, but as someone who also plays the field, kind of stood up for him, and I think just nicked off his glove, and then Powell and Burns both kind of scrambling for it, and nobody really able to make the play. But like we've talked about, can't judge everything based off the result. It was weak contact on the ground, and I think Enyart would be happy with that.
The batter now, Colin Robson, and that one is in the dirt. Briggs scrambles to it, and the throw is late. A good read by Dawson, is able to pick up an extra bag after that passed ball, I would say, or depends.
Might have to watch this one back on the monitor.
Oh no, please. Do your thing. That's why we have it up here. But either a wild pitch or pass ball gets Cole Dawson to second base. So runner in scoring position, nobody out for Colin Robson.
I think it did take a hop.
So we'll say a wild pitch. 1-0 is upstairs. For Enyart, during his warm-up tosses, I think I saw 2-seam cutter, curveball, and a changeup. So pretty big arsenal if that is the case. Obviously not 100% sure. Brett Castillo is another guy that we've seen hit more than pitch, and that also has a very long arsenal of pitches for a guy that doesn't normally pitch.
We've also seen Zane Kelly hit more than pitch, but hasn't been in the lineup the last few days. I know that he was getting warm a couple days ago, but would expect to see him on the mound, I guess if not tonight, sometime soon.
Falls behind 3-0, and the next one is nowhere near. So a 4-pitch walk after the infield single is going to prompt a mound visit from Brody Briggs. Looks like Monty is going to stay put. Now Ryan Callahan maybe is going to share his 2 cents with the 2.
And obviously no experience with Briggs talking to me out on the mound, but just the way he carries himself, even though he didn't see the field as a true freshman at ASU this past season, just seems wise and definitely mature for his age, and definitely a guy that if I was on the mound, I would appreciate the talking to from, and seems like he would definitely know what it takes to calm these guys down.
Briggs is the type of guy that doesn't get too serious and too involved with the game, is able to take himself out of that a little bit. Definitely a little bit of a funny character, I would say, for the team, and someone good to have back there. Someone not too serious, like I said. You don't want someone coming out there and just telling you what to do, and you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and Briggs is someone that's going to work with you, and that one misses as well. So 5 straight balls as he starts Ty Thomas out with 1.
Yeah. And unfortunate that Robson got on and he just immediately had to work with guys on, even though he made a good pitch to him.
1-0 misses again. Seemed like he yanked that one after the first one was inside. And it looks like there is another arm getting ready in the bullpen out there. Looks like it's Andrew Rudd.
I believe that's him, yeah.
Pitched really well out in the Peninsula. 2-0 misses. Briggs fires back to first, close play, but just in time is Colin Robson as he hits the bag. So count is 3-0. That's 7 straight balls now, and Enyard is finding himself into more trouble than he started with.
Yeah, really struggling out there, but ground ball and you can get 2 outs. Big lead to work with.
3-0, and Briggs sticks it. That one in there called strike.
And looking back at that last play, great throw from Briggs over to first, and Eisenstadt did all he could to apply the tag. Thomas just getting back just in time.
Hitters count for Thomas. The 3-1. Hit out to short. Will Burns bobbles. He's going to step on it himself. The throw, it is in time, a double play. A great job by Burns sticking with it. Puts his body on the line. He's able to block the ball up, takes it himself, and fires a strike to first base. And just like you said, Will, 1 pitch, and now you got 2 outs.
And super smart play after that bobble, realizing it might take a second for that exchange, not only to get the ball to second, but also to get the ball to first. So he just took care of it himself.
And I like that Burns was able to pick up the ball at the same time he was actively heading to second base. A lot of times people get too caught up with things. And a strike across, and a great way to start out to Cole Wilson after a lack of command to start for Enyart. Quickly ahead 0-1. See if he can fill up the zone. Next one swung on and missed. Got him with the breaking ball. Looked like that curve.
And now he just looks like a different pitcher.
Sure does. Working with some good pace. Working pretty quickly. Taking a page out of Leon's book, maybe. 0-2 on the way. Swung on and missed. Adam Enyart with a single. Gives up a walk, gets a double play, and a swinging strikeout. Just took 3 to get the last man, Cole Wilson. So a good job getting back from Adam Enyart. Leaves it 7-1, just like we started this 8th inning as we head to the bottom half. Bucs still lead it. Welcome back. Bottom half of the 8th. Hopefully the last chance for the Bucs to add on. And the guy on the mound is Braden Smith, who is a catcher for this Oilers team. And we, to our knowledge, do not think that he is actually listed as a pitcher as well as a catcher. We think that he is just coming in to fill in and eat some innings up, right?
Maybe just have some fun out there. Hasn't pitched at all this season, at least that our records show. Didn't play in college this year either.
And that one, a slow pitch to Brody Briggs. He pulls it right to the first baseman, Ty Thomas, for an unassisted out. And based off of that first pitch, I think we can safely say that Braden Smith is not a known pitcher. But he was throwing it fairly well during warm-ups, but he's got a grin on the face. You could just tell this is not his normal position. And that one, a slow fastball right over the heart of the plate. And
a slow ball?
A slow ball, exactly. And for these Bucs batters facing 80 to 90, they're really going to have to change up their approach at the plate and let these balls travel a little further, as that one was outside. Next one's a called strike. That one was on the corner. A good pitch by Smith. The first one was right down the middle, and he's got to be careful.
It's got to be tempting to just want to go mash mode if you're Christian Powell or any of these Bucs.
1-2. Hit the opposite way, but foul.
That one a lot faster than any of the other pitches we've seen so far.
Yeah, in terms of big league ball, when position players come in, they usually try to do the whole eephus thing. Some of them do. Some of them are pretty competitive, and then when they get 2 strikes like that, a lot of them will just gas it up, not necessarily anywhere near the zone, as that one was an example of that. Not anywhere near the zone, and a off-speed pitch plunks Christian Powell. I think it might be safe to say that that was his first attempt at an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, Powell more than happy to take that one, and Braden Smith,
I don't think it hurt too bad.
Just smiling out there, knowing that this might be the only chance he gets this year, and probably knew he wouldn't have the best command.
Batter now, Will Burns. He takes a crack at it, but a ground ball out to third. This could be 2. On to second for 1. To first, not in time, and that ball gets away, but not far enough for Will Burns to advance. So a 5-4 putout as Cole Dawson turned that one.
Yep, fielder's choice.
So Burns is aboard with the fielder's choice, and now Carlone grounds it right to the first baseman, Ty Thomas. Braden Smith, have yourself an outing. Works around Christian Powell's hit by pitch, and he's able to get the next two guys, in Burns and Carlone. So an easy bottom half of the eighth. We head to the top half of the ninth. The Bucs trying to close it out when we come back. Welcome back. Last chance for the Oilers, and it's Andrew Rudd on the hill for the Bucs, and his last time out was really good. He faced this same Oilers team that was in the second game where the Bucs fell 4-1, but he had himself a really good outing. 4 innings pitched after Halverson just went 4 and struggled, gave up 3 runs. Rudd himself gave up 4 hits and just the 1 run against the Oilers. And overall in the season, Rudd still looked really good.
Yeah, 3 outings, 11 innings, and just 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. He's been great.
First batter he faces is Rothberg, and he grounds this right out to Christian Powell at second. And he is the first out here in the ninth.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps pitching like he's been pitching, and like he did on that pitch, he's going to see a lot more playing time. And, I mean, it's unfortunate. There's just so many pitchers on this staff that deserve playing time and only 9 innings to go around each game.
So Andres Mitat grabs a bat. He's 0 for 3, and he lines this to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, and his first base hit of the season. Mitat, we remind you, has been struggling this season, so good to see his bat get going. Of course, would love for that to result in a ground ball double play for Rudd's sake, but always good to see a first base hit, Will.
Yeah, and Rudd will want to pitch well against these guys because there's a few players who play at Cal Baptist just like he does.
So Rudd with a runner aboard at first in need of a ground ball out of Cody New. That one downstairs. Cody New is 0 for 2 with the walk back in the second. Both ground outs to the second baseman, Christian Powell. That would do right now.
And New, one of those Cal Baptist guys.
He floats this to center field. Long run for Max Ross, but he has no problem with it. 2 are down.
Always got to feel good to retire your teammate, huh?
Sure does. So a lazy fly ball gets Cody New out, and that'll bring up Bryce Berkey. With 2 down and the top of the order looming on deck, Andrew Rudd would love to see those guys in the next meeting versus the Oilers. We've seen them a good bit after this game, actually. Only saw them once going into our road trip out to the Peninsula. That was here at Mulcahy, of course. First one misses from Rudd. Game has almost been like a rubber band. It's been long at some points and very short at other points.
100%. Love that analogy.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Of course, that first inning was fairly long and then sped through up until the 5th inning where the Bucs put up a 4 spot. That one, another called strike. The breaking ball falls in the zone, and the Bucs just 1 strike away from getting back into the win column. Remind you, Took the first game out in the Peninsula, lost 2 straight. Took game 4, and then heartbreaker in game 5. This one called strike 3. Have a seat, Bryce Berkey. Andrew Rudd takes care of the Oilers and works around that 1-out base. It's a 7-1 victory. The Bucs back in the win column. It's their 12th win of the year back here at Mulcahy Stadium. Home cooking, that's got to be some good luck. So once again, the final score is 7-1. We'll take a little bit of a break. We'll give you the totals and the line score when we come back. The Bucs win it, 7-1, final score. Welcome back. The Bucs win this one again. The final score is 7-1. A great game for these Bucs. Good pitching, good hitting. That's what we've seen, and very clean play. Just the one error. So, Will, walk me through what you thought about today and how the Bucs got back in the win column.
Yeah, like you said, good stuff from both sides. Zan Rose, not his best stuff today, and still just 1 run across 6 innings really goes to show how good of a pitcher that he is. I've talked about it a ton throughout the year. That's how you find out about a pitcher,
right?
Because you're not going to have your best stuff every game, and he had it, honestly, the first 3 games, not tonight, but not a problem. Just 1 run across 6 innings. That would be most people's best stuff, but struggled with the walks and just was able to work around it. And then at the plate, timely hitting, saw that big 4-run inning, and then Carlone and Eisenstadt, they've been 2 of the best hitters on this team all season long, each of them with 2 hits, 2 runs for Carlone, 2 RBIs for Eisenstadt, bunch of 2s for those guys.
Yep, 2, lucky number, and lucky for the Bucs, their 12th win, and they increase their lead in the standings over the second place Oilers. They improved to 12-5 on the year. The Oilers drop to 8-6, I do believe.
8-7.
8-7, So still 1 game above 500. The Bucs cruising here. Once again, a 7-1 victory. And yeah, like you talked about, great job by Zan Rose, able to get out of those jams and work around the lack of command at some points. So a really good game for him. Looking ahead to the schedule, the Bucs will have a day off tomorrow, but we'll be right back here for another 6 o'clock game versus the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And after that, of course, our doubleheader for July 4th. Both of those are non-league games. And the Oilers back here on July 5th. That's a Friday, 6 p.m. start. So very quick until we see these guys once again. The Bucs 4-3 against the Oilers now as they improve in that department. Once again, the final score 7-1. The Oilers 1 run on 5 hits and 4 errors. Some sloppy play for them. The Bucs taking advantage. And 7 runs on 7 hits, just the 1 error for the Bucs defense. Once again, 7-1 the final score. For my partner, Will Hopkins, I'm Dick Maslia saying so long and good night from Mulcahy Stadium.